I did the New York Pro, and family sometimes doesn't get it. My mom, she saw me compete for the very first time, and then she finally understood.
Mr.Olympia champion.
Then she saw what happened on stage, and she saw the reactions, and she got it. But she kind of lived peak week with me. Well, I got started weight training in a gym, or with like real actual weight training, right before I moved to California. That was 12 or 13 years ago, just before the bodybuilding adventure started. Of course, it's intimidating, but you just gotta start. So I hired someone that helped me feel comfortable with what the machines did and the main objectives and how to train, which body parts to do in conjunctions with others, you know, kind of what to do. In the beginning, when I started intentionally training for bodybuilding to get on stage, I trained myself, but I did have help from my husband. But majority of the time, I have always trained myself, by myself.
Of the don'ts rather than the do's, because there's a lot of don'ts in the industry.
Kim he has been a source of stability for me and a lot of his athletes from the start. I've known him for 10 years. He's been doing this sport in some capacity for decades now, longer than I've been alive, or just about. Kim is a very methodical coach, and his area of expertise is bikini. And for him, I've learned this from him, this approach. It's a slow and steady, and doing everything you can do to preserve femininity in our division is really his focus. There's always another show.
Yeah, wait, I'm here. I'm really here.
He's really here, guys.
I'm really here, circulating.
The way that I train now and the connection, that mind-muscle connection, that has evolved for me to the point where now I'm in tune with this machine. Like, it's pretty cool once it clicks and you really understand how to move your body and what the muscles really are supposed to be doing, and you get the movements, and then you can adapt any piece of equipment, learn and evolve. My mind goes to where it knows it feels good. And the times that have felt really good, those moments where I've reached a flow state and I've won. So I keep that in my thought process. Like, hey, you know what it feels like to have that feeling. So work and get to that level again, because that's where you know you can reach, and you know that's where you belong. That's part of a mindset that I carry. Junior Nationals, 2015 in Chicago. That was a pro qualifier, and I looked amazing. I thought it was even a better physique than I brought to the stage a few weeks after. There was only one girl in the height class that was going to get the pro card. So it was more competitive, a lot of girls there. My group was the biggest. I got overlooked. I was like in the last group, and I almost quit. I was so sad and so down and depressed about it that I had to give myself like 24, 36 hours to decide if I was going to keep going. I'm glad I didn't quit, because I didn't. 6 weeks later, if I would have quit, I wouldn't have gone pro 6 weeks later. When I'm training, I focus on the movement. I focus on the moment. I'm fortunate enough that I have flexibility in my day where I can train when I know my body is ready to train. So really kind of just paying attention to what my body's doing. That's where I am when I'm training. And as long as I do that and I execute the movements properly and I do check all the boxes at the end of the day, that's how I get through this. And it's enjoyable. There's a sense of accomplishment at the end of the day. And I don't like the feeling of losing. I accept that. It took me a few years to accept that. So once you taste winning, you don't want to lose. The rush and the love and the peace that I feel when I'm on that stage So it's like getting to do it again, getting to do it one more time. So that's one thing that gets you hooked. Also, once you hit a point in the sport, where you understand that you really understand the judges' feedback and you really understand what your physique needs more of or less of. Like, when you get it, that it's not you compared to other physiques, because we're all a little bit different, right? Once you get it, then you get really, really addicted. You get really hooked in a positive way, where you know, okay, I can be better than this physique, even though I won at this show. I know my physique can be better. That's a driver for me, to be better than I was. I want to go as long as I can go, as long as all the pieces of the puzzle are in a good place. I've been able to do that by securing the Mr.Olympia title, the first for the bikini division. I realize I've already started something. And this is very powerful, and this is a driver for me too. A lot of women that are in the mindset of thinking they're a little too old, they're in their 30s or in their 40s. They don't need to age in an undesirable way. They want to do the sport, they can do it, they can be successful. I'm leading that, and I have friends that do the same in the sport. 2020 was a hard year for a lot of people. That was the year that I finally learned to let go of any sort of victim mentality, and I understood that I had everything in my reach to be successful and become a champion, and I won in 2021. Like, that's when I started winning. Coming back home, having to restructure my life and really learn to embrace being that champion, even though I felt like I really had to start back at the bottom. Winning the title means you have to hold on to the title, understand and embrace what the role of that title means. Every year that I've been in this sport, I have been around the Mr. Olympia stage in one capacity or another. I've either been behind the scenes, doing media, assisting. I've been working at a booth, finally ended up on the stage. Second year, back on that stage. Third year, back on that stage. Then I win my own Mr. Olympia, the Masters Olympia. And I get back on the Mr. Olympia stage, and this year I want to make that big stage. So I'm doing everything that it takes. This Olympia is very extra special. It's my 4th consecutive Mr. Olympia. It's the 60th anniversary of the Mr. Olympia competition in Las Vegas. So this is going to be huge. It's going to be celebrated in a big, big way. And I would expect that every woman that's going to be going on onto that stage, we're all up against each other, is going to be doing exactly the same thing. Not skipping any steps. Legacy is end goal, to win that title again and win it again, doing everything that it takes until I decide I'm done. I want to make finals. I want to make the big stage. I was close once. The first year, in 2021, I was 11th in the world. They only let the top 10 competitors go to finals. So I want to have that experience. Everything it takes. Doing my job and checking all the boxes every day. That's how you make it. And now it's up to God and the judges.